So I've hit record, and so whatever you say will be the intro, and then we'll cut to the song, and then the people at Chi Alpha will start. So anytime now.
Wait, you hit record?
I did hit record.
Yeah, so make a sound.
Make a sound.
Okay, let's go.
Welcome, everybody, to People of Chi Alpha. I'm your host, Matthew Jones. I'm also an intern with Ball State Chi Alpha. And for the first time ever, People of Chi Alpha has two people. We've had three people before, okay, but now it's two people. We've got Sam Wade and Dane Denniston, both graduating this month here in December. So elated to be with them today here at Northside Assembly of God. Let's start with you, Sam. How we doing? Are you excited to finally graduate from your time here at Ball State?
I am doing good. Very excited to graduate and move on with the next part of my life. After all these years in Chi Alpha, it's going to be sad to see all these people go and or see me go. But it's been great.
Love it. And Dane, how we doing?
Doing well.
How are you? How are your Cowboys doing?
They're doing well, coming off a win. No, I it's definitely bittersweet right now. Like school's tough, a lot of work, and I'm ready to be done. But I also I've enjoyed my time in college. Chi Alpha has been a big part of that, and I'm not excited to leave those relationships behind. Physically, but we'll maintain those for sure.
Yeah. That's one of the beauties of having people within the ministry who graduate with you that you're really friends with, and then you still have some people that are still around that you can always come back and visit, which we saw this last weekend at the Chi Alpha Christmas party. I'm sure that was really exciting for me, especially being around all my guys who had really never experienced a Chi Alpha Christmas party before, but you guys have, being some old farts that are about to graduate. But what were you guys' experience? What was your guys' experience like this last weekend at the Christmas party?
Oh, I mean, like you said, it was great to see old faces and new faces, people that had experienced a Christmas party before. Because the last time we experienced it was our sophomore year. So 2 years ago, last year we didn't have one due to COVID. But it was great to see, everybody out there dancing, having fun, making cookies, just, being with each other and enjoying that time.
Those cookies slapped hard. Dane, what was your experience like?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was definitely it was different from like you said, 2 years ago. It was the talent show, and then this year we had the superlatives and the band. The band was amazing this year.
Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Landon killed it.
On the trumpet.
Killed
oh my
it. Yeah.
gosh, yes.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, dancing and just I won an award.
Yeah, what award did you win?
I don't know if I want to say because there might be children listening.
There are gonna be no children listening to this.
I am the most likely to tell children on the street that Santa's not real.
Yeah.
Great support.
And I attribute that to my parents because they did not tell me that Santa was real ever.
So no Santa, no Easter Bunny, no Tooth Fairy, no Mother Nature, nothing.
No lies.
No lies. Hey, live no lies.
Great household. Yeah.
John Mark Comer. That's the book that's out right now. I heard it's really good. So yeah, it's been really, and the whole thing about that also with you guys is that you've been able to see kind of a culture shift as well within the ministry, especially COVID and then into this year. It's just a huge influx of people that seem really hungry for the mission of what God is doing here in Chi Alpha, and you guys have kind of not necessarily taken a quote unquote back seat to that, but definitely played a more of an elder role in that. Which kind of leads me into this next question. I know when we talked before, we had a different layout, but leadership, right? So one of the things that we do within Chi Alpha is we raise people up so they can be equipped, so they can reach the campus and bring people into knowing God and, be saved and baptized and, rinse and repeat, right? But you guys have had an interesting kind of, I want to say, tug of war with the whole term of leadership, but it's been an interesting journey, right? Dane, you were a leader was it only for a year, right?
Yep.
And then Sam was always somebody who we thought that he's going to be great for leadership. But I wanted to ask you guys and actually start with Dane, because you actually said after a year, I'm not going to do this anymore. And then Sam, in the process, that whole process, you're like, I don't want to do this for whatever reason. So I kind of wanted to, if you guys would touch on that. Why, Dane, you left, and Sam, why you never stepped up into that?
Yeah, so I was a leader my sophomore year, and I ended up co-leading with my roommate Josh Hatton, who was my core group leader the year before, and we co-led, and we had like Sam was in our group, and our other roommate Luke was in our group, and we had other guys that came, but not as like faithfully, and that was something that the both of us really like. We just kind of undervalued Sam and Luke, like just like and how faithful they were, and we just kind of were discouraged by like the other guys who weren't there, and we didn't focus in on who was there, and so that just really made it hard as leaders, which like it was just on us. We didn't really appreciate what we had, and we focused on like the negatives and what we didn't have. And so at the end of the year, it was COVID. It was like during COVID, and I talked to Joey about it, and I did decide to just step back from leadership and then just be a member of a core group. And I think that like what really like led to that decision was I felt like I was not able to like pour into like my guys. Like I wasn't gonna be able to pour into people in my core group because I wasn't. It's because I wasn't like spending the time that I needed to being like spiritually fed myself, if that makes sense. And
Yep.
so that is kind of what played a big part. And I should I have stepped back? I like like maybe it wasn't the best decision. Maybe I should have been a better leader. And but that did end up. I ended up in Kalen's core group, and we had a great core group last year. I'm in Joel and Alex's core group now, and we got a really great group with a bunch of younger guys, and like we both have really enjoyed that this year. And so it's led to good things.
Yeah, God can make everything turn for good. And
Absolutely.
you bring up a great point, and this is for anybody, not just for leaders, but like you have to make sure that you're being spiritually fed yourself in order to actually be able to pour into other people. So
Right.
Sam, what about for you, man?
So for me, in the early stages of Chi Alpha, I, didn't feel called to be a leader. I knew that I had, certain qualities that you could see in a leader. I just wasn't very confident in my, biblical sense. I didn't think I knew verses or, chapters of the Bible that well. So that kind of discouraged me to go that way. But unfortunately and fortunately for me, this past summer before my senior year, I have really dove into the Bible. I read about maybe 3 or 4 books of the Bible this summer, and I've came into this year feeling the most rich I've felt in a very long time. But unfortunately, I'm graduating here in a couple weeks, so that was a no-go for the whole leadership role. But like Dane and like you have said, we've kind of taken a back seat this year as seniors, and kind of just taken a more supportive role. So I think I've kind of filled that role of being there if somebody has any questions about Chi Alpha or about faith, and having that experience of a core group and being a great part of a core group.
Yeah, and you mentioned how you have a lot of younger guys, right? And I'm sure it's been amazing to see the transformation and the saving of Anthony this semester. What has that experience been like for you guys within core groups, seeing somebody like Anthony come to know Jesus and then be baptized last Tuesday?
Yeah, it's honestly like that's been like probably the highlight of like definitely that like this semester is like watching his growth and like watching somebody like really like come to faith and like understand like God's love and like make that outward declaration of being baptized. And it's been really awesome.
Yeah, he's been a great sponge, just wanting to soak up everything. And, he has so many questions, and, we may not have the answers for him, 100% of the time, but it's great to see somebody wanting to learn just about anything. And it's very like eye-opening and heartwarming to see that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I'm super excited for him, super excited for his leader, Alec, as well. Your guys' leader finally saying, yes, I'm going to get baptized as well, and then getting baptized last Tuesday at Encounter. And, so for what we talked about earlier, the kind of culture shift, there's a lot of new, younger people that, are a lot like Anthony in the sponge sense. And so you guys have talked about how you've taken a back seat in core group, been more of a supporting role. But what other roles have you guys had within Chi Alpha. I know, Sam, you and I have done plenty of advertising team stuff. What was your experience like with that?
Yeah, so I was a part of the Chi Alpha advertising committee, like you just said. I was a former Instagram manager, did that for a while, put up, daily Bible verses and stuff like that, encounter posts. And then I became part of People of Chi Alpha and helped you turn this into a podcast from a YouTube series to a podcast series. And that's kind of what I've done within Chi Alpha, as far as the advertising committee and stuff like that, because I was not able to be a part of the leadership roles or anything like that. So that was kind of my avenue in Chi Alpha.
That's really important too for anybody listening that's like considering, I might not have enough time to do leadership and lead a core group, meet with people one-on-one. How else can I step up and use my talents and skills other ways, whether it's on the worship team or advertising team, and stuff. So that's really awesome that you like still chose to do stuff like that and use your skills that way. Dane, did you have any other roles besides your 1 year of leadership, which seems like only 1 year, but no,
No.
but
No, I was just,
you were Dane Denniston.
I was just a member,
And a faithful one at that, for sure.
I think that's important, come to
Absolutely.
Encounter, go to core group, go to Mandate, hang out, build community, make those relationships and, have people pour into you, pour into others.
Yeah. And speaking of Mandate, do you guys have some favorite Mandate Monday memories?
Oh my goodness.
I have a least favorite off the top of my head
Okay,
when
go.
we played basketball a month ago. I don't know, and we were all playing, and Will Workman worked my team.
Oh my goodness, that man can shoot.
That was a low moment of my semester.
Not knocking on Will Workman, because
No.
Will Workman's amazing.
No.
It's just he
Yeah,
just
shot the
destroyed you
lights
guys.
out.
It just was,
Yeah.
we just got beat, and I don't like losing. We got beat bad.
That is true. You do not like losing.
It was still fun though.
I'd say probably one of my favorites was probably like one of the first mandates I'd ever been to, and being a freshman, a guy that nobody knew. I think we played football, and we played until pitch black outside, and I believe it was Dane or somebody. I can't remember. I think you were quarterback, but I think it was like the last play of the game or something, and then I scored like the game-winning touchdown and like made my day. It was crazy.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that sounds like me throwing a pass.
Hey, I remember. Okay, hold on. This is okay. So within the guys community, everybody wants to be quarterback when we play football.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody wants to be quarterback. Matthew Jones wants to be quarterback. Dane Denniston wants to be quarterback. And sometimes, some people do really good. They lead their team down the field for a touchdown drive. And then somebody like Dane comes in and says, "Yo, let me get a turn." And the first throw they throw
Pick six.
is a pick six. I mean, stuff like that happens.
Gavin Ford
Stuff like that happens.
every time.
Every time. So actually, I wanted to ask you guys this as we wrap up this session here is, what do you guys think is the importance of something like a Mandate Monday, where all the guys can come together? What do you think? What's the importance of something like that for the overall health of a ministry?
I think it's very important because it's fellowship. It's coming together and doing something not Christian based and not Christian influence, but you're still there. You're still with community. You're still bonding with those people.
With Christians.
Exactly, with Christians. And I think that was a huge part for me. Just dipping my toe into Mandate and then core group, and then slowly getting to Encounter and being fully entrenched into the Chi Alpha community. I think Mandate was a huge part in that.
Dane?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people like that I can think of over the past few years that it's a lot easier, like somebody who's not necessarily really interested in faith. They you say, "Hey, we're playing basketball, we're playing football or frisbee or whatever." They might be interested in that, and they come and they experience like just like the energy and the atmosphere that like I feel like we all like that we have at Mandate and just in general together as a group of guys. And I think that's really attractive, and people like there's something different about these people, and I think that's really important and valuable.
Yeah. And it's been something that not to knock on the girls at all, but something that they've been trying to replicate in some form or fashion for a couple of years. What would you say to kind of a girl leader who's kind of just like, I want to get the girls to come together more often, like what the guys have. I mean, we've had this built into our DNA for long before I was even here. What would you kind of say to somebody who's kind of like trying to build that in, or is kind of unsure of whether or not it would work?
I mean, I would just start with events. I mean, if you can get like a small group of people together to go, even if it's not playing a sport, because I mean, mandate is usually us playing a sport, whether that be ping pong, volleyball, football, whatever. But like, if you can get a couple people to come to a house and congregate and hang out, watch a movie, do some different activities, I think that's the core of it, is having an activity to center that around.
Yeah, and start small, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think one of the things that's like for like mandate is on Monday, and like I think something that like an idea like for if a girl was trying to like replicate that in a sense would be like pick a day, pick like a time ish, like we do 5, we do 6, 7, whenever, depending on what works for everybody. Like pick a time and like pick something that's like gonna be attractive for a large group, or a lot of people.
It might not be the most attractive thing for you, but it is
Right.
for the majority
to be with people.
Yeah. Love it. All right, so in the next 43 seconds, you are saying something to somebody in Chi Alpha, just a word of wisdom. Doesn't have to relate to anything that we talked about today. What word of wisdom are you giving to them?
I mean, I'd probably just have to go with, no matter what grand scheme of things like happens in college, and if you just have that faith like in your life for 15-20 minutes, you do a quick little Bible study, 15-20 minutes, it makes your day, your week, your month, whatever, your semester 10 times better, because you have that in your back pocket. You have he's with you 24/7, and if you make that a part of your day, it makes the difference.
I would say like if you are in or like trying to join like a small group, core group Bible study, just in general, buy into it, like go all in, because you're gonna get out what you put in. If you buy in, you can build those really strong friendships. You can grow spiritually, and have that support net that like a lot of people don't have, and so that's what I'd say.
Love it. Words of wisdom from two elders within Chi Alpha. Sam Wade and Dane Denniston, thank you guys so much for being on the show today. As you guys can hear listening, the music is playing, which means it's time to wrap up. I've been Matthew Jones. I'm an intern. Peace.